I remember in school, everyone was super good at painting. So good, so perfect, all the lines and the details. And I was the kid who, if we would paint like a vase at school or something, I was the kid who like mixed all the colors together, all of them. It was like 10, and then it would become like a weird color. I got like a little made fun of, like in school for a while, because of like my art and how I would express myself. I think that was a pretty important like experience. Because of that, I've learned to like really blend colors together. It was all about experimenting and allowing myself to not be perfect and to go a little crazy sometimes with art, because that's really how you can grow in it and find yourself as an artist, by experimenting.
My name is Liboi. I'm from Nairobi, Kenya. Yeah, and I do music. I'm just a creative. I do a lot of things, but I like to say that I'm a singer-songwriter. Yeah. So it's exciting and also I'm anxious.
Why?
Because I don't know what's awaiting, but at the same time I'm excited to just do me.
Is it excitement or money?
Both.
Anxiety?
Both.
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 Okay.
I know you need it. I know you feel it. I know you need it. I know you feel it. I know you need it. I know you feel it.
Every single person has something amazing inside of them. And sometimes you can self-discover it, but sometimes it also needs other people outside of you to make you see what is within you. My mother knew I was an artist when I was 3. First time I performed, it was her brother's wedding, and I sang. And she tells me, from that day, she used to carry me everywhere and make money. When the world turns towards Kenya, what does it hear? One thing echoed out across our staggeringly beautiful landscape. That one thing is opportunity. And it was just a voice at the back of my mind. Never really thought much about it, but it kept coming and going. So now I would have to listen. And it was encouraged by the incident I told you about when we went to a crusade with my mom, and the pastor called out for a little girl back there who is destined for greatness. And when I was called, when my mother took me there and I was prayed upon, and I was told that there's a taj, a crown upon my head. Yeah.
So the Art Exchange Residency is really an opportunity for artists, often quite young artists, to come together in one location, spend a significant amount of time together and to create something new. And it's really a challenge. A lot of the time artists work in isolation, but here you know that in a certain amount of time you have to create something that is going to be seen by the public. There are very few opportunities like that where artists get the opportunity to just immerse themselves completely in what they're doing. I think what's particularly special about it as well is that it's multidisciplinary. So when you're combining, a visual artist with a dancer, it's not an obvious combination. They probably would not usually work together, but suddenly they have this opportunity to try and make sure that their disciplines, their artworks talk to each other.
Got it? Yeah. Now we'll take it faster and then we'll go it higher. So we start the lowest that you can. When you remove an artist from their familiar environment and take them somewhere where they're not used to, you're always, like igniting some level of curiosity, which is very important for the creative process. When you're curious, you want to know, you want to probe, you want answers, you have questions. It's usually very nice for any creative process because then you are in a quest to find out and subsequently create. Okay, last one of this kind.
And at the end, what's critical is the connection that they make with each other as artists, which is why starting this process by really doing, exercises around looking each other in the eye, walking around the space, talking about your own experiences, so that you get to know each other very fast on a deeper level. You have very little time, so you have to let go of all these boundaries that you have. And often how you do that is through body. When you're able to embody a feeling, when you're able to embody an emotion, and when you're able to connect with each other physically through touch, you become close very quickly.
Like the moment when someone makes coffee is one of the images that I have in mind when talking about sensuality. Like here, the pitch of the water gets higher when you put it inside, and so you can do these things using all your senses. I think it is true that meaning in life within ourselves comes through exchange, through shared experiences. So let's say through dialogue and listening.
But I'm saying the whole of this.
Yeah, I would like have
Frames of the photos.
5 different pictures.
Exactly, yeah. Like maybe a tree or a flower. And then this is like, let's say, a wall. We could use what they come up with in a bear.
Yeah,
What?
that would be wonderful.
You understand?
Yeah, I understand.
I was feeling trapped during lockdown. Couldn't go see my folks. Couldn't see my friends. We couldn't do plays. I felt trapped.
I've remembered a day when we were locked out of the house because my dad couldn't pay rent and we were at the balcony and I couldn't help. I just felt powerless and helpless. Yeah, I couldn't do anything. It felt bad.
Now what we want to try and do is use these robes to help transform those specific moments into movements, into positions.
Yeah, I was remembering that moment that too. I wanted to just to open the doors and to go out of that place and I feel it like when she tried me on my eyes, and I was feeling like the pressure.
Every painting is a self-portrait, no matter how you look at it. I think that, every piece has your own essence. No matter how much you try, you can't really escape it. Yeah, it's like interactive. So for me, it's like ritualistic. Like it's something I do with my body, trying to recreate. It's the process that's all the thing. Like, why do I paint instead of taking a photo?
And we would like to use the concept of negative in our project, you know? We were talking about that before, like we like it as
Of course
a
I'm
concept,
scared.
like-
I've never done something so drastic before. But I think I'll manage. I have a lot of new friends along the way that will help me.
We were talking about the project and the third paradise concept, and we realized there is like an ergonomic like design where there is past, present, and future, where you're part of the roots and the roots you create and the things you're gonna become in that place and how the place like interact with you and make you another person. I think that's important and talks about also the third paradise, no? The harmony between new, old, and past and present.
We can just move from the Basilica Santa Maggiore that we saw yesterday, which represents like the past, and the square will represent the present, and here the neighborhood to spin time is like the future.
Then I like very much the idea that what we want to create, paradise, it's actually a today. So what we want to mix, it's the possible, which means the future, with the past. This is also a great idea. I mean, this is a great concept. I think it's a better concept. So the elements are there and they're fantastic. Then I propose you a subject. Because who do we see in negative? Here we have 100 kids that have no citizenship. So we are doing the struggle for citizenship. So I think if we can support also, an issue like this, it could be fantastic. Also because this leads up to Palazzo Merulana, Pistoletto. So this brings.
I like the final objective of that. I mean, like.
This explorer categorizes these things in the same category maybe, and he divides them in other categories that we can understand, but that are very weird and unexpected to us. In such a way to express the fact that the category that he has in mind are different, and the concept of nature and artificial are not distinguished anymore.
So just maybe rely a bit on seeing the body as well, as being a tree, as being a branch, as being the origin of nature. And this is where we are not going only to the third paradise, but we're going back as well to the origin.
I think that is probably the best way to represent what we're doing.
We're thinking about a presentation with Bea. Why not creating big photos and with text intertwining it and creating a book?
Because I like the people here, so we have to make it a bit less. We're creating some photo collages from stories that we've picked up from people and trying to create a visual version of their words.
So this is my first time actually asking people to imagine something. Like, for example, how do you imagine paradise? So them imagining and trying to capture their imagination. That's what we're trying to, it's a bit challenging, but we're almost getting there. Yeah.
I sent a picture to my mom and she says it's good.
About
the hands and then the costume. I asked when I told her maybe we were gonna use the red How you feel when you are doing all of these? Like you have the passion.
It feels good, but the scissor hurts my my hand a little. I live in Sweden, which is a colder country, and I would say I paint a lot of like jungles. I paint a lot of happy colors because it's almost a way of escaping. I see myself somewhere else and I paint where I want to be. I paint and in a way I escape to that place, to the world where of my dreams, where I see myself living, where I see my perfect happy life. Yeah. How do you feel when you're dancing?
Good. I
You
think
feel
it's the
good?
same feeling. Yeah.
It's like a euphoric, like somewhere you belong and it's beautiful.
Me and Andrea came up with a project in which was a researcher who came from the third paradise. This specific researcher more like interviews the nature by taking photos of the nature, takes photos of things that are speaking to him. Now once we've taken this photo, we assemble them. Now the researcher categorizes these photos into categories. So we decided to go with bordered things, with colored things, tangled things, skin things, and light things.
Okay, but how
Because
right?
these are very, the veins of the head are very light.
Yeah, light, but how right?
The concept that we are trying to explain is this. If we abandon the category of thoughts that we use today to look at the world, we might see it in a completely different ways. And we could resolve so many conflicts between human and nature, between rich and poor, just because we wouldn't have these categories anymore.
My installation is about contrast that you can see very easily in Rome, with a lot of trash, a lot of uncomfort in the streets, and there is this other side, this golden side with the church and with the richness. Apparently it's not changed in 2000 years, because Romans, ancient Romans have the same problems apparently.
Come and take it. Now the city.
So what I'm saying is, just like the bird, and you know how courageous they are, they don't know what's coming, but then they just fly. They just move towards a particular direction because that's freedom to them. And yeah, that's paradise for them. So I want to be like a bird. Yeah.
Come and take it. Now the city. How are you?
Small goat, big meno piuma, no? Ok?
Solo
più piccole. Due piccoli e un terzo grande. I due cerchi piccoli rappresentano il mondo naturale e il mondo artificiale. La unione tra il mondo naturale e quello artificiale dà origine a un terzo cerchio, a un terzo mondo, che è quello che noi vogliamo, un mondo più green, un mondo più rispettoso, ecco, da parte dell'uomo, perché quando il mondo artificiale c'è l'intervento dell'uomo in maniera negativa, distrugge la natura. E quindi quel terzo cerchio è quello che noi vogliamo, come lo desideriamo, possibilmente non inquinato.
Are you ready, guys?
Yes.
Okay, well.
What? To be beautiful, you must suffer.
Yeah, that's true. You must suffer.
Non dai sbattuto? Cosa è successo? Andiamo! Vai!
Siamo noi capitani! Capitani, abitanti, siamo cittadini! Abitanti, ma non residenti! Dobbiamo sempre stringere i denti! A noi ci dobbiamo giocare, ma dobbiamo invece lottare! Lottiamo ogni giorno per abitare! Un bel quartiere trascurare! Qui non ci può cacciare! Segui la legge popolare! Siamo diversi ma non differenti! Vorremmo smettere di stringere i denti! Ora che il sindaco lo fai tu, non fai finta di guardare giù! La nostra città, la nostra storia, dannata
Dall'ospitalità ha saputo dare
la cittadinanza pensare. Cara sindaco, cosa puoi fare? Questa questione la puoi affrontare. Cittadini e residenti vogliamo diventare, bambini e squilini vogliamo restare.
And now I'm here. What do you think? Yeah! Of course I had to flee, just like you. I thought you were dead. It's not cry of hunger. A cry of hunger that just sets a fire in my belly. Because I was fighting for a better life for all of us.
Feedback that I've gotten from this vast performance of how people, even with the language barrier, have been able to connect to the story of this woman is what is motivating me to put on this turban and do it all over again.
It's hard. It's hard to say goodbye to the soul. It's like losing something.
You're amazing, girl.
Not more than you. I felt like I've been loved so much. I was surrounded by such beautiful persons. I was so inspired. I felt safe. I felt lucky. I felt like they would see me in a way that I like. It was all about connection. And we exchanged so much. There really has been some friction between our hearts, our souls. I mean, it's life, so we have to accept it. But it's also good because it creates space. And I was wondering, how is that space gonna be filled? What is gonna be in there?